Welcome to Soul, a weekly entertainment show on fashion, arts and culture, food, relationships and mental health. Our weekly co-hosts are Dr. Delvena Thomas, Imani Warren, and Chef Irie. Now introducing our host, Miss Nicky Gelin.
Hey, happy Hump Wednesday. Hope you're having a great Hump Wednesday. We're officially going down the hump. So I'm Nicky Says You Only Live Once, and welcome to another episode of MIA Magazine Presents. So tonight's show is brought to you by our sponsors. So the Florida Lottery and Duke and Dame Whiskey, and also FAMU Medical Marijuana Education and Research Institute. Get credible information and engage in a safe space to learn and talk about cannabis. Educate, learn, and talk about cannabis right here within Florida. Now, MIA Media Group presents Legacy Magazine's commemorative Black History Month issue that drops this Sunday. Okay, so we are kicking off Black History Month with a bang. So visit miamediagrp.com for more information. Again, visit miamediagrp.com for more info. So y'all, we're literally in February. So last month we had our first Black-owned hotel giveaway, and we are doing our second giveaway for the month of February. So MIA Soul is giving away a prize. It's a weekend for two at a Black-owned hotel located in Miami-Dade County. The value of the weekend stay is not to exceed $500. You must use the trip within 2 months of awarding of the prize. So the contest will go on for February and it ends in March. So there'll be another one in March. So each month a new winner will be announced. Now, to be eligible to win the prize for this month's giveaway, you have to answer this question. Name the historic place that's on the cover of our Legacy Miami's Black History Month issue. Again, it's dropping this Sunday. So name the historic place that's on the cover of our Legacy Miami's Black History Month issue. Send us your answer by next Monday, that is February 6th, by midnight for your chance to win. The winner will be announced on our next Wednesday show on the 8th. Good luck. Now, nominations are open. So Legacy Magazine's most influential and powerful Black business professionals for 2023 is open. The deadline to submit your nominee is March 17th. So visit miamediagrp.com/nominations to submit your nominee. Also, Legacy Magazine is honoring our most prominent and influential Black women in business and industry for 2023. There's going to be a brunch and a fashion show. I was there on Saturday to view the practice rehearsals, and I saw some of the designers' pieces. You don't want to miss it. So the show will also be hosted by NBC6's anchor, Constance Jones. It'll be held at the Le Méridien in Dania Beach Hotel. And again, it's taking place on Saturday, February 18th. So visit miamediagrp.com for more info and how to purchase your tickets. Now, y'all, this Saturday, it is definitely going down. So the Afro-Caribe Arts Fest, it is happening this Saturday. I'm super excited to be a part of it. So we're going to be celebrating the arts of the Caribbean and the Americas. It's a one-day festival held at the Griffin Park in North Miami. It starts at noon and ends at 10 p.m. this Saturday on the 4th coming up. So let's go ahead and play the video. Hi, I'm Nicky Says YOLO. And this February 4th, North Miami is given Caribbean from every angle. Celebrating Caribbean culture with live music, art pop-ups, kids zone, and a deep dive into Caribbean cuisine. see you February 4th at the Caribe Arts Festival. All right, y'all. So it's going down on Saturday. There's going to be live performances by Harmonique and other Caribbean, artists as well. There's going to be food trucks celebrating the Caribbean and the Americas. Okay, there's going to be a kids interactive zone. Bring your lawn chair. Let's have a really good vibe. Let's celebrate. And I will see y'all on Saturday. I'll be there. Come dressed to the T, but comfortable as well. Or should I say my Jamaican accent, comfortable. So the Americans say comfortable, but the Caribbeans say comfortable. Okay, anyway, so I will see you on Saturday at the Caribe Arts Festival. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Dexter Bridgman, okay? He was a part of the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence Foundation, founded by Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, and we were able to celebrate the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Breakfast. So here is a video of how it went down.
I want to interrupt the prison pipeline. I want to make sure that little boys make it into college and be able to marry beautiful queens.
Well, I come bringing greetings, and I also come bringing a check.
Sebastian Garcia, Thomas Pace, James Holmes Brad C, Nelson Diaz.
I accept my God-given responsibility of serving as a role model as we strive to fulfill our goal of guiding our young boys into manhood. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the 12 new role model mentors for 2023.
Raise your hand, young man, if you felt like there's been moments in your life where no one saw you. Look out there. How many people are seeing you? For I know the plans I have for you. For I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. Says the Lord. Plans to prosper you. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope. Plans to give you hope. And this is the only time when you're going to be able to curse and a big ass future. Big ass future.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful. I was there for the breakfast, and just a big shout out to Congresswoman Frederica Wilson for even thinking about this foundation. I believe it first started at 100. Now it's at 5,000 role models. And our very own Dexter Bridgman, he is a part of that. And also big shout out to award-winning actor, poet, and activist Omari Hardwick. He is the spokesperson and the face of this foundation. So big shout out. Thank you so much. And just a little bit. So the foundation, it gives our young boys hope for the future and vision for greatness. And it provides mentors as they move forward into college and their manhood and their older years. So gratitude. Thank you so much. And now let's get into a little snippet of our guest tonight. So our guest tonight, we are actually, I mentioned earlier that we're paying homage to it's Black History Month. So New World Symphony is paying homage to the contribution of African-American artists during the Harlem Renaissance for Black History Month. kicks off today. So I Dream a World Festival, the Harlem Renaissance in Europe, it's going down in Miami Beach at the New World Symphony. So this season's festival is a 2-week exploration of the Harlem Renaissance's transatlantic movement and influence within Europe. So we have 2 special guests tonight. I'm going to be speaking to the president and CEO of the New World Symphony, the one and only Mr. Howard Herring, and also the president of the Society for American Music and the I Dream a World Festival curator, Dr. Tammy Kernodle. So you don't want to miss this. It's a 2-week festival. There's so much we have to cover. So stay in your couches or in your beds. Now, bringing it off to my first co-host. She is our board certified psychiatrist and also the founder of the Brain Love podcast. So happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Dr. Alma, Dr. Delvena, it is your birthday turn up and your born day. Happy birthday. What are we talking about tonight?
Okinawa, an island off the coast of Japan. 3.5-hour flight from Tokyo. I was here for my birthday. My parents lived in Japan in the 70s. That was their first international trip after leaving Mississippi. One of my brothers was born in Okinawa, right here on this island. May my mama rest in peace, rest in heaven. Happy heavenly birthday to my mother. And here I am with the last 2 tips to becoming mentally resilient, mentally strong. Don't be a people pleaser. And the last tip for the month of January, own your power and never, ever give it away. My mother used to tell me, don't care about what other people think. That's why I don't give a fuck. Own your power. Never give it away. Own your power. Never, ever give it away.
Want to go? Own your power, never give it away. Yes. Facts. Oh, yes. I was just saying, own your power, never give it away. It really hits. And I'm just so happy that you're in a sacred space. You're in a really comfortable space. It's your birthday. I have been following your 31 days of providing tips for mental health awareness. And happy birthday. You're so beautiful. You're so inspirational. Thank you so much. Gratitude. I'm happy that you're on this planet, and hopefully we'll see you next week. And happy birthday. Turn up Aquarius season. Okay. Now on to my next co-host. She is our expert in arts and culture within South Florida. So Imani Latifah, where are you tonight? Or last week?
Peace and beautiful blessings, my MIA fam. Welcome to the Arts and Culture Report by Imani. So this was a journey to Miramar. Miramar had this amazing presentation with all these Black women titled, "Who Decided Black Hair Was So Offensive Anyway?" So this particular exhibition featured Black women. Here is a little bit from that. Take a listen.
So we're going to get started just learning a little bit more about our panelists tonight and asking them some questions.
As you all know, it is the first day of Black History Month here in South Florida. And even though we've been getting a lot of negative press about what and what not should be taught in schools when it comes to African American history, this is our way to do it anyway. Shout out to the mayor of Miramar, who is such an amazing, dope person. We're going to be teaching and educating our people all month, all year. Happy Black History Month. I hope that you all are going to be able to do some amazing exhibitions coming up around the city. Stay tuned for some dope things. Peace and blessings.
Imani, peace and blessings. I'm so mad at myself for not being able to make that event. I saw the flyer. Hopefully they bring it back next year, and I would love to be a part of that. I'm such a natural hair advocate. I am all about women of color rocking their natural tresses, in coils. So thank you for representing for MIA, and we'll hopefully see you next week, and hopefully I'll be a part of it next year. Now on to our next co-host. He is a celebrity chef. He cooks for all the NFL players, all the NBA players. He's also a guest host on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. And I do want to, MIA Soul would like to offer their condolences to Ricky Smiley. His oldest son recently passed away, and he's been pretty open and vulnerable and vocal about his son's passing. And I know it's a really difficult time. It's a very hard time for him. So we do offer our condolences. And Chef Irie, hello and welcome tonight. How are you doing this Hump Wednesday?
What's going on, Nicky? Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. Appreciate that shout out to Ricky Smiley. Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's sad.
It
it's
was
just
heartfelt. Definitely a shocker for a lot of blessings to him and the family, and I hope that they all can come together and pull through and support each other like we need to when it comes to times like these. So as they say, draw onto your family and your God, or onto God. Yes,
right.
Those are the two things that are going to make this journey much better. But yeah, you know what? Today is the start of Black History Month.
It is.
February 1st. Look at that. February 1st, Black History Month, MIA Soul, on the day that Black History Month started. Look at that. Well, I tell you.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. It just could not have happened any better. I'm just saying. Ray for the calendar. All right, so Flavor Corner, what's going on? Black History Month. So today is National Dark Chocolate Day, and it's also National Baked Alaska Day. All right, so we're going to start off. So do you know what a baked Alaska is, Nikki?
No, I don't. I just think about Alaska being dark for 6 months.
So baked Alaska, it's an old school dessert. We're talking, like old school. But it is really sumptuous, and anywhere that you can find that makes it, it's a delight. So basically what it is, it's a cake. Usually it's a vanilla sponge cake. Yeah. You can pretty much use any cake that you want because, you're eating it, so your flavor. So a cake on the bottom, and it's topped with ice cream. And then it's covered over like in a dome with a meringue. And a meringue is made, with egg whites, sugar, cream of tartar, and the cream of tartar, to hold the structure of that meringue. And then, it's covered over the cake and the ice cream. And so people, depending on, how good your oven is and what have you, it can be put in the oven to firm up, or it can be torched, so if you have a flaming torch and you torch it, and then you can set it ablaze, light it afire with some nice liquor. Boom! When you serve it, oh my God, it is so delightful. And this dessert was created in commemorate
yes
the purchase of Alaska, and it was by restaurant in New York, Delmonico's. So if you've ever heard of Delmonico's, it's one of those places in New York that goes back, way back. Expensive as hell, and you definitely need to make like some early reservations. But their steak is super sumptuous. You don't eat steak, but I'm just telling
the steak there, the food there, I hear is is awesome, and I know how well it is in the last 10 years, but it's a place to be. All right, Bake Alaska Day and National Dark Chocolate Day. But we're going to talk about what we need to talk about because, Black History Month, we need to, us Black folks, we need to be celebrating,
Thank you.
each other and celebrating our educational system. Wink, wink, wink. Yes. Yes, Lord. I'm verklempt. I don't know much to say about that right now.
Same
but
with you.
South Beach Food and Wine comes up towards the end of this month. February 23rd to the 26th. Now, if you're here in South Florida, and if you've ever, if you lived in Miami Gardens at some point, still do, and so this name is very familiar to you, Lisa Davis, Councilwoman Lisa Davis, and I'm sure you know her. And Councilwoman Lisa Davis is a consultant now. Her company is a consulting firm for the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. And one of her endeavors has been to feature our local Black chefs here in South Florida at the South Beach Food and Wine. So if just like, most events, there's always been a smattering, drops here and there of us represented at large events, and South Beach Food and Wine was one of them. And of course, once we had that conversation, like, look, we would like to be represented, not just here and there, but in force. We need to be recognized for an event that is hosted in our backyard, and people that look like us need to be seen. Why? More people who look like us would want to come to see people who look like us. Yes, everybody's a foodie, but here it is. So myself, I will be there at the South Beach Food and Wine. I'll be doing 2 events. The Hallandale Beach Food. That's Saturday on the 25th. And I'll also be doing the Bacardi Carnival event on Sunday on the beach. And I think that is behind the Ritz, if I'm not mistaken. But those are the 2 events that I'm doing. And also, before I even speak, some of the other chefs. So, the flyers that with the chefs that you see advertised around the city, that's telling you who the chefs are. So this year I am on one of those flyers. I am on one of those flyers, and I think I was told that I'm the first local Black chef to be featured on one of those picture flyers around the city.
Chef, you got to share. How can we see it? We have to show it. We have to
actually, so tomorrow, I didn't get a copy of it yet, but I'm going down tomorrow to find one and take some videos and take some pictures.
Can I get your autograph?
Awesome.
Can I get your autograph?
Awesome. Huh?
Can I get your autograph?
Oh, sure, baby. But like I said, this, we're featuring, and next year I'm sure it, be grand. So some of the names, we got our chef there, Chef Brian, that's over there at Little Greenhouse Grill. You all know it. We featured it on Flavors of South Florida. Chef Kareem is gonna be there. We have Chef Anthony Wilson. You've heard that name. He's there making his moves here in South Florida. He's doing his thing. A lot of the chefs on here, I have to be honest, I don't know them personally, and a lot of them I'm just seeing their names for the first time. And I do see Chef Maurice on the lineup as well. And of course, there are chefs that are representing Sobe this year that are not on this flyer. There may be others, but our local Chef Amris Jones, the Chicken Jones that's down there in the food court down at Alton. She's doing a fried chicken class, and I'm not sure which day. But what you want to do, if you want to see the chefs, you want to go on the South Beach Food and Wine website. And yes, some of the events may have already been sold out. But if you want to go and not just support the event, but support the event that one of the chefs or some of these chefs are going to be participating, do that. Go out and buy a ticket and support the local Black chefs for South Beach Food and Wine this year, 2023.
Chef, do we know what day? What day? Do you know yet?
Yeah, so I'm assuming that most of the chefs would probably be at the grand tasting, which is usually on Saturday and Sunday. There are other events that are taking place. The festival starts February 23rd to Sunday the 26th. And so when you go, there are tons and tons of events. From most of the events and the food events that you can go to probably start around Thursday, Friday. So, Art of Tiki, that's one event that I did last year. And there are other events all events are listed on the site, and every event lists all the chefs that are participating. So you can go in and you'll scroll down and you'll see which chefs, which restaurants are participating for said event. So that's the way you'll find out. So yes.
Awesome.
So this is a great way for us to start off Black History Month. And so one of the things, for the upcoming episodes, for my segment here at MIA, to feature, people in the culinary industry, but the perspective that I'm taking is to highlight and feature chefs that I know personally, as opposed to here's some chef over there, did some awesome thing, and they did it in 19 whatever, blah 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 blah. But I like to feature chefs that I've personally known, personally worked with, or just have a relationship that look like me, and they're doing great things, not just here in the United States, but elsewhere as well. So hopefully, next coming weeks, that's going to be my take for Black History Month.
I'm here for it. Let's get them on the show. Let's get them featured on the show for 8 minutes. Yeah. Cheers. All right.
Well, how about that?
Let's get them on the show. Get them on, yeah. Get them highlight. Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do this. I love it.
Well, cheers, darling. Cheers. And I'll see you next week. And I'll see you at the Sobe Food and Wine Festival. Cheers.
Thank you, darling. Peace out.
All right, y'all. So literally it is the kickoff of Black History Month, and we're going to be talking about I Dream a World Festival, the Harlem Renaissance in Europe at the New World Symphony. So I'm going to be speaking to President and CEO of the New World Symphony, Mr. Howard Herring, and also the President of the Society for American Music and Festival Curator, Dr. Tammy Kernodle. So here she is. Hey, everyone's on. Happy Hump Wednesday. How's it going?
Fine. It's good to be here with you. How are you?
I was at the VIP preview last week. You were in Ohio, but I believe you're now in South Florida.
I am.
And I'm sure you're very happy to be down here right now.
I am. Enjoying the warmth and the sunshine.
And the beach and the palm trees and the sun and all that good stuff. Okay.
I haven't gotten to the beach yet, but I'm hoping to get some time in before I leave.
Yes, you got to get that part in. So let's get right into it. So, okay, so Dr. Tammy, tell us a bit about your background.
So I am a pianist, an arranger, and a musicologist, a music historian. And my work primarily is in the area of African American music, both classical and popular music. And so, I bring to this festival the perspective of a historian, who's done much in terms of curating this history, but also as a performer who has engaged with some of this repertory. And I'm a Southern girl by birth, and I think, that's what I'll say.
Okay. Southern, what part of the South?
I am from Southern Virginia, Danville, Virginia, a little small town on the border of North Carolina. So every now and then my Virginia Catons will show up. I'm a proud graduate of an HBCU. I went to Virginia State University, and and then went to the Ohio State University for my master's and PhD.
Yeah, and now you reside in Ohio.
Yes, I teach at Miami University in Ohio, the other Miami.
Wow. Okay, welcome back to South. Welcome down here to South Florida. Is this your first time in South Florida, or you've been here?
I came a couple of weeks ago. This is my first official, I think real residency, and I'll really get an opportunity, hopefully, to see all the parts of Miami.
Welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
And Mr. Howard, so tell us a bit about your background.
Well, I'm a pianist as well, and followed the route from the south to the north. I was born in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
I had a wonderful teacher when I was a kid. She said, if you want to do this, you got to go to New York.
Yeah.
So I did. Managed to get there for my master's degree. Made myself a trio, piano, violin, and cello. Won a competition, stayed together for a while. For about 15 years, I was another pianist in New York. And let me tell you, there's lots of them.
Yeah.
At that point, I started running the Carolmore Music Festival just north of New York City. 15 years at Carolmore, and then came here. At a point in time when the New World Symphony was working in the Lincoln Theater, renovated movie theater on Lincoln Road, and they knew it needed a facility that would really take it to a new place. So we spent 10 years, and we imagined the future of the institution. Got ourselves a designer by the name of Frank Gehry, and he gave us this design, 3 years to build it. We opened in 2011, January of 2011, just 12 years ago. So that's a little bit about me.
Wait, so is there like any kind of inspiration, or like did somebody inspire you getting into this field? Who is your inspiration, and why? What's your why as to being a part of this music arts field?
You go first, Tammy.
I was really inspired by a little lesser known scholar by the name of Eileen Southern, who wrote one of the first thorough history books on Black music. She was actually the first Black woman tenured at Harvard as well. And I discovered her book as a junior in the library, and it just opened me up. And then I just, I fully immersed myself in Black music. I wanted at one point in time to be a concert pianist, but didn't really have the chops, and also was frustrated, even at a HBCU, sitting in a classroom where there wasn't much discussion about Black music or Black composers. And so, that the intersection of those things, discovering this book but also discovering, new pathways and that would take me to graduate school, really kind of set the course for the kind of work I do now.
Yeah, there was a void, and you took the opportunity to fill that void and to speak a particular community. So yeah, that's because you don't really see a lot of Black and brown people in this particular field, Yeah. So for you to like just grab it and go after it and to bring awareness, it's really admirable. Thank you for that. And I think, like the youth need to see that, we can dominate this field. We are just as talented. I played the violin when I was younger. I was a teenager, and I didn't see a lot of us in that setting. So for you to go above and beyond and to see that there was a need and a void that needed to be filled, that is huge. It shows that we are more than just what society sees us as. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And
Mr.
Nicky, I asked Tammy that same question a couple weeks ago. And
we got a much longer answer, though.
I did get a much longer, but I tell you, her eyes dance when she tells that story. She's awesome. Back in that library, stumbling upon the Eileen Southern book and realizing that the world was about to open in a way that she never imagined.
Exactly.
Sure enough. It's a beautiful thing. I think anybody who does music, and I hope, Nicky, this happened to you playing the violin.
Yeah.
As you begin to discover the music, you begin to discover yourself, which happened to us all. And some of us got so crazy, we thought we just had to do this for the rest of our lives. So there we find ourselves. But it's an important piece. And what Tammy has done, the organizing of this festival in a small way, and all of the research that she's done in a large way, is to bring this music front and center, to put it in a place where everything that it happened in that time and in that place, in this case, Harlem Renaissance, has transcended that time and that place. And it is now our music to give over to the next generation. But what we're going to do over the next 2 weeks is explore that music inside and out, up one side and down the other. For our fellows, very important that they learn this style. Style is part of what carries music. I mean, if you're going to play European concert music from the 19th century, you have to learn the style of that music. You have to do the same thing with music from the Harlem Renaissance. So our fellows are going to gain a knowledge of that style from Tammy and from Branford Marsalis and from a whole bunch of other folks who are here as leaders of this festival. They will then carry that style to the next generation. You spoke also, Nicky, of of how you were seen at one point in your life.
Yeah.
And there's always the business of who gets to tell the history.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And Tammy gets to do that, and we had better listen.
Girl, we gotta talk, Tammy.
We're going to live that history over the next 2 weeks. Very important.
Yes. Yeah.
Very important. It is. In school, like you don't really, well, as far as me, so I'm a thespian. I was in theater drama. But
gosh, we couldn't tell.
Okay. No, but as far as the music aspect of the history of Black and brown people, African Americans, Caribbeans, Black Caribbeans, it's not really a told historical thing in school, and thank God we have social media nowadays, and we have the New World Symphony paying homage and recognizing the Black and brown community. So, and so Mr. Howard, and we were talking earlier, I'm Jamaican, and I know it's a Harlem Renaissance, but I was saying, being that the New World Symphony, it's in South Florida, it's in Miami, like there's such a huge Caribbean, population. And it'll be great to learn about that history as well, So I know we're bringing awareness, and we are definitely paying homage to the Harlem Renaissance. Wow, but it's Black History Month. We're just a boat stop away. We go.
And let me say, Nicky, we're gonna bring a little bit of that. We're gonna bring a little bit of that flavor to this conference. I mean, this particular festival. I don't know why I said conference, because it feels like multi-day conference, but it's a festival, because we are kind of touching on that. I mean, one of the things about this year's festival is the Pan-African kind of identity that the festival takes on. And so while we don't amplify it as much as we would like to, and I just say, give us a moment, give us a chance, because this is we're gearing up. And we're hoping that in these next years you will see more of that. But this year, particularly the James Reese Europe concert that's coming up, really kind of touches on that intersection. James Reese Europe had the historic Hellfighters band that was a regiment, all Black regiment that was part of World War I. And most people don't know that the 40 members of the band, now the regiment itself was hundreds, but the regimental band was 40 members. 18 of those 40 members were Afro-Puerto Rican.
Wow.
And yes, he went to Puerto Rico and he recruited those musicians to fill out the sound of that band, because he had knowledge that there were these highly skilled woodwind players on those islands because of the municipal band culture there. So he went there and he sold to them the idea that, your Afro-Puerto Rican identity is part of this equation of the Americas, and it's part of this longer conversation about Blackness. And regardless of how we characterize ourselves, we are linked by a culture that emanates from a particular continent. We are linked through this story of slavery and colonization and racism. And those individuals were part of this larger fight for democracy against imperialism in Europe and help contribute to the Allied victory. And so, while we don't make that, most people don't know that part of that story. That's emphasized in our musical notes. You're going to hear that also in the rhythms, because what they brought to that music was themselves. And James Reese Europe let that be a part of the fabric of the music of the Hellfighters. So we are very much aware that Blackness is not one-dimensional at all.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. And I want to say that the Afro-Puerto Ricans, their background, it's the Tianos or the Tayanos is what they are. Yeah, that's they have the Arawak, the West Indies, and I know they're really prominent in Puerto Rico. So what can we expect at the I Dream of Worlds Festival this year? Tell us what we can expect.
Oh, we're going to give you a little bit of everything. I mean, I think, you're going to hear, the cabaret concert is going to take you into 1920s, 1930s Paris, into the nightclub scene. So you're going to hear some jazz, you're going to hear some blues. Saturday's concert, Symphonic Persuasion, is really going to be a very eclectic mix of music. So you're going to hear everything from overtures from Black musical theater productions that were historic. You're going to hear the overture from Scott Joplin's very famous opera Tremonisha, which was one of the first operas written in America on an American topic, a subject. You're going to hear, art songs of Black composers. You're going to hear Creole songs, Creole folk songs, but you're also going to hear European composers who were influenced by Black music and Black musicians and how they interpreted that, certain elements of that in their music. And then, we're going to go to James Reese Europe. We're going to give you an immersive evening of James Reese Europe. We're going to tell his story, and it's a remarkable story. James Reese Europe was seen or viewed by musicians as the Martin Luther King of music. Some of the musicians who played with him lived long enough to equate his leadership and musical legacy with Dr. King's legacy. And so we're going to give you a glimpse, and it's going to be totally immersive. Film, narration. Russell Motley, who's coming from the community, is going to help us with this evening with Branford Marcellus. We've got Bill Eaton's coming back. We've got a family concert. So, if you bring your kids out, and we're going to really contextualize these composers, and we're going to have a piano concert. So we've got something for everyone. And we're coming to Overtown. I'm really excited about that. Lyric theater, we're bringing the chamber group. The fellows have been working very hard, curating a wide array of music for that night. And I'm just so happy that we're coming and being immersed in the community that way. And I'm going to be quiet and let Howard talk a little bit.
Well, I want to say Overtown is Miami's Harlem. So
that's exactly right. And Tammy was quick to remind us a couple days ago that the geography of this festival has to expand. Yes, it's wonderful to do it here at New World. There's reasons to do it here. This is our home, but we need to go out into the community and play this music. And what better place than the Lyric Theater? I would also add that we have now I think we talked about this, Nicky, last year, a wall cast. We capture the music in the hall and we project it on the primary facade of our building. It's 7,000 square feet. It is a great big 4K image and incredible sound system. That's going to be available on the night of February the 4th. But we also, because the park is larger than our area where the wall is presenting, we have now a mobile wall, an LED screen. We put it in the corner of the park, and it helps enlarge that audience. But we are now beginning to bring it around town. We were in Liberty City on January the 7th. We're going to be at Betty T. Ferguson Park on March the 25th. We haven't set our Overtown date, but we will be there at some point in the spring. So the idea is that this music will travel with these digital tools that are ours to exploit. So it's wonderful what's going to happen here, but we're coming to see everybody as well.
And I do want to say that I have experienced the Wallcast. I literally had a picnic. So
Yes.
my friends and I, we got our little blankets, we got a little basket of our food and wine, and it was a really great night. So the Wallcast is really highly recommended. It's outdoors. It's such a great experience. So I'm happy that it's now mobile. So you're able to like move to different cities and have those cities experience it.
Right.
So what kind of impact do you want this festival to make within the community?
I mean, I think
you go.
No, Howard. I leave it to you.
I see Miami as a city of the future. We are coming from all these different ethnicities, all these different backgrounds, and we are beginning to share with each other. One of the observations that I make is that relevance is all about shared experience. So what this festival will do is bring this music forward that doesn't just merit being played. It will gather us together. And it'll be one more way that we understand each other, that we begin to trust each other. So for me, this is a festival that's about community, and a better community and a broader community and a more tightly organized, in the best sense of the word, community and a more trusting community. That's what I want to do with this festival.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
I totally agree with Howard. I want to add one other piece. To me, this is resistance culture. We talk about activism, restorative justice, resistance. These things have been so much a part of the vocabulary of so many people, people of color, definitely, but people who formulated the racial coalition that has, propelled these civil rights struggles, particularly from the late 20th century into the 21st century. And I see this festival as being part of resistance culture. What I mean by that is history scares people because history makes people uncomfortable. But music is the one thing that joins us all together. And I see this festival as being part of a strategy of resistance against the muting of certain narratives and experiences and voices, and illuminating them in an environment that doesn't qualify them in an air of tokenism, but speaks to these voices and their achievements, and uncovering their achievements, and restoring what had been a miscarriage of justice that had been done by certain institutions in those lifetimes of these individuals, and to a full articulation of their artistic merit. Wow. So what we're engaging in is informing people. I hope that people leave this and they want to know more about not just a James Resure, but a Camille Nicholson, Amanda Aldridge. I want you to know about Scott Joplin and the fact that Scott Joplin went mad writing an opera about a Black woman elevating her community and could not have that opera performed because people thought opera should sound a certain way and be, and tell certain stories, but how he was so much a visionary about telling a new American story through the life of Tremonish. I want people to leave this festival wanting to know more. And not just about the music, but the history behind the music.
His name is Scott, you said Scott
Joplin, and he's known as the king of ragtime.
Wow. So was he ever able to?
No, he died. He died in a mental institution. And in fact, the overture that you're going to hear comes from revival of his music that happened in the 1970s. And so, so this is what I'm saying about us engaging in a type of restorative justice, right? Performing this work, illuminating these voices that were active. Scott Joplin is dead in 1917. So he misses the Renaissance only by a few years, but his opera, his music, the music you're going to hear some of his piano works. You're going to hear some of his chamber works. You're going to hear, you know, Samuel Coleridge Taylor. These are people who laid the groundwork for what we call the Renaissance, right? And they were fighting in a world that was not so different from now. A world that had been shaped by a global pandemic, a world that saw the rise of racialized violence. You know, we have to consider this is the 100th anniversary of Rosewood, Florida, the destroying of that Black township. You know, so we are talking about taking us back in time, but it's very relevant to what is happening now. And this music is a way for us to look at that. That's why we call it I Dream a World, because these people were dreaming a different world through the notes and the rhythms and the nuances that they presented. They were dreaming, and we are still dreaming.
I'm really stuck on Scott Joplin. I just, you know, he died in a mental institution for trying to bring awareness to his vision and his creativity. Has there been any talks of reviving what he wanted to bring forth to us? Or
so Nikki, you know some of this music, you just don't know you know it.
That's the thing.
This music is so good it could not be repressed.
Yeah,
you know the entertainer, you know the rag the entertainer. I'm blanking, Tammy. What movie was it in?
Oh my God, I'm sure.
The Sting. And if you've listened to the Ice Cream Man, you've heard it. If you've ever been on a merry-go-round, or you've ever been on a Ferris wheel, and you've ever gone to you have heard the music of Scott Joplin. You just didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I need to process this.
Yeah. But also, there's a YouTube version of Treemonisha, this opera that he wrote at the end of it. Go take a look at this. It's magic.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you for this. I love this. Yeah. And we have to, you know, and within the Black and Brown community, like there's not a lot of exposure when it comes to music, when it comes to orchestra, when it comes to strings and piano and the saxophone. Like it's so limited. And I really am so appreciative of my dad and my stepmother for introducing me to the strings, you know, and there's a lot of communities where they don't have that privilege, and we need more. So thank you for the Wallcast. I know that you're bringing the Wallcast into more communities, underprivileged communities, and it'll bring so much exposure to the youth in particular. I feel like the youth, they're so young, and their minds are so still trying to process this planet and the culture and what they can contribute. So with the Wallcast and being mobile, oh my gosh, that speaks volumes, and thank you for that. So how can we find more information and to RSVP and to purchase tickets?
nws.edu. Go to the website, and it's right there front and center. Click in, choose your concerts. We will love to have you.
Yes, there it is right there.
There we go.
Yes, it's so beautiful. It's a whole different language. It's a different language, and it's very therapeutic. It's a therapeutic language. Is what I want to say. Yeah. So thanks again so much. And now we're going to go into our MIA Soul Talk. Okay. So they're really fun questions, and Dr. Tammy, we can start with you first. So where's your favorite place to visit?
Where's my favorite place to visit?
Yes.
Any local record store.
Oh.
So whenever I go into a city, I'm always looking for the record stores, like the old school record stores.
Like vinyl, like the vinyl record
vinyl CDs. I love. Streaming is okay, but I am still old school. I need the liner notes, but more importantly, I just feel like we have to buy music. You know, we don't mind buying Gucci, we don't mind buying Versace and Louis Vuitton, but when it comes to art, we want to cheapen and devalue art. So, you know, I'm always about buying the music. I listen and stream, and then I buy, but I'm always, you know, trying to fill out my collection. So whenever I go to a city, I will go and spend hours. and entirely too much money. So
do you have a record player? Do you have a record player?
I have a record player. I have a CD player. I mean, I got the whole old school component.
You got a cassette player too?
I sure do. Why you joking?
I got a Walkman. You got a Walkman too?
I got a Walkman. I got a Discman. I got the first generation iPod. It's dead, but I'm holding on. It's a relic. I'm holding on to it. So yeah, I'm real. I'm real about the real.
I love it. Mr. Howard, what about you?
So
where's your favorite place to
I go
visit?
about 2 more blocks down the street from Tammy, and I find the used bookstores.
Bookstores.
I'm not kidding.
Oh
And I do the same damn thing. I will 2 hours just disappears, and all I've done is just walk the stack, and I wait for the book to find me.
Ooh.
Oh.
The book will find you if you take your time.
Okay.
Any particular genre? Like what section? What section do you normally?
I love to read novels, and I love to read about media.
About media.
About media.
Wow.
It starts with Marshall McLuhan. But since we live in this building, which is designed to take full advantage of digital media, and Tammy's right, analog is better.
Yeah.
We have to understand it. And there are a number of people contemporary writers, nonfiction writers, who have studied the brain, what happens to your brain in a digital circumstance, what happens to newspapers, what happens to commerce, what happens to your understanding of creativity, all that stuff. And there's a lot of literature out there that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So next question. So song or artist that you're currently streaming? Song or artist you're currently streaming?
That is not fair. Okay. I'll go first. I mean, because I'm listening to everything. But you know what? I have really been stuck lately on I've been stuck on 2 songs. Brian Courtney Wilson from the album Transitions Live. He has a song called Waiting. And it is a song that just talks about how sometimes you're waiting on the thing you've been praying for, and the thing that's stressing you is the thing that you have been waiting and anticipating for. So you can read into that what this is, but also I have been concentrating on, I listen to everything under the sun. But in preparation for coming into this festival, I've also been listening to Jennifer Hudson and Tasha Cobb Leonard. It is well with my soul. So I've been on the gospel tip a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Definitely. Okay. And what about you, Mr. Howard?
Now I have to go, Tammy. Now I have to go find this. But that's the point of this question, right? So I've been listening to Julia Bullock, who sings this week in the festival. She released an album, what I call an album, what we call now a release. And on this, she sings Who Knows Where the Time Goes, which is magic to me. I know that tune from the 60s and the 70s, but what she does, and her husband, Christian Reif, who is a New World alum, he's playing the piano, and it is it's really quite wonderful.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, so I'm really, now thanks for sharing that. And I have mental notes because I want to learn more about that. Again, I'm not exposed personally to like the music world or like the orchestra as far as who to listen to. So this is like really great. I'm really big into the diaspora. And for me, when Esperanza Spalding hit the scene, she had like that big old afro. I was like, yes, girl. You got my attention. And also Robert Glasper as well. Like he's like a modern day pianist, and you know,
so is that who you're streaming? Is that who you're listening to now?
Definitely. It's really heavy Robert right now, you know, because
Black Radio 3. The Lettucey track is fire.
It was fire, and he was down here recently. He performed recently in Miami. So I went to the concert, and I was like, I was so immersed in it, you know. So it's just really good to see us on that platform. So next question is Beethoven or Chopin? Who want to go first?
Scott Joplin. That's my answer.
That's your answer. That's your answer.
That's my answer.
That's okay. I'll take it.
Beethoven or Chopin?
Chopin. Yes.
That's not a nice question.
No, there's no way out, is there?
There is no way out. I mean, like, you know what?
Either one or the other. They totally different.
Beethoven or Chopin? I'm gonna go with you, Howard. I'm gonna take Mary Lou Williams.
There you go.
I ain't messing with that.
Nikki, do not think you can get ahead of us.
Oh man,
we gonna get out. But I love both of them for two different things. But the old school pianist would say Chopin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The old me, the younger me, the younger version of me would have said Chopin.
I'll take it. Okay, that was both great answers. Okay. Now, finally, what would you tell your younger self and how old would you be? Who want to go first?
I would tell myself the things that mark you as different that people don't get are a gift from God. And they will manifest themselves in your life in a way that is going to propel you beyond anything you could have even conceptualized or dreamed. So just hold on. Don't, grow comfortable with being uncomfortable in places, because that feeling of uncomfortableness is what's going to drive you and push you beyond what anybody else has conceived for your life. And I would tell myself that around the age of 13.
Yeah. You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And Mr. Howard, what about yourself?
I'd say this would be about the age of 23 or 24. I asked myself for the first time to get quiet. To get quiet and listen to myself instead of chasing whatever challenge was put in front of me.
Right.
And I started to meditate, and it made all the difference in the world. So that's how old I was when I finally said something to myself that mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're 13, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s and 60s. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
But very powerful, and you're making such a difference within the community. Please continue to share the power of music. I mean, it's so well needed, especially within the Black and Brown community, because again, you don't hear a lot about this within the Black and Brown community. So thank you so much. I look forward to the Wallcast. I'll be there on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it. Get my outfit together.
Yes.
my Harlem outfit together.
You need to make sure you come and see me. I want to meet you.
Oh, yes. I'm going to meet you.
Find me. You grab me. You think.
Pull you
I
to
thank you for this time. I thank you for your platform. I thank you for what you are doing, to be a voice in this community. So Thank you so much.
Yeah. And thanks for being our guest tonight. And thank you for what you're doing. Thank you so much. And I look forward to the Caribbean spinoff.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. Give me time.
It's coming. That's right.
All right.
If Tammy says it's coming, it's coming.
It's coming.
We're working on a narrative. I'm
That's
coming.
right.
We're not leaving nobody out.
That's right.
Perfect. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Happy
Nikki.
Hump Wednesday. And I'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
And everyone, don't forget, we are having a giveaway. So again, we're doing our second Black hotel giveaway. It's a weekend for two at a Black-owned hotel located within Miami-Dade County. So the question is, name the historic place that's on the cover of our Legacy Miami's Black History Month issue that drops this Sunday. So you have until Monday midnight to submit your question. And the winner will be announced on next Wednesday's show on the 8th. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.